And another video, Meet the Makers series, available only on block.news. I'm your host, Jonesy, and this is the show where we meet the makers in the digital currency and blockchain space. And I'm really lucky today to have Skyping in from San Jose, California, David Wu, who is the lead architect of TauCoin. David, thanks for joining me. Can you introduce TauCoin? Tell our audience a little bit about what you do.
Hey, Julie. Thank you very much to bring me here. So TauCoin is about a novel cryptocurrency running on a new consensus called proof of transaction. Our aim is to make it fast, fair, and secure.
Proof of transaction. I love that. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. The one that we know are the proof of work and proof of stake. So proof of transaction is different. Basically, proof of transaction is looking at the on-chain data. And the more transaction you make, the more probability you will get an opportunity to generate next blocks, so on to make a reward. So there's a mining clubs on chain for the proof of transaction. Basically, people joining as a club to mine the chain by making more and more transactions. This basically encourages the transactions on chain. Comparing to proof of work, which is competing on the hardware, and proof of stake is competing on the stake. So the benefits for that over proof of work is there's two elements in proof of work which is very hard for me to live with. One is the more users using the proof of work coins, the more energy and the more cost per transaction. That's not a sign of a good coin. Right?
Correct.
The more you use it, the more expensive. So the second one on proof of work even more hard to live with from my perspective. It's also why I created proof of transaction coin. Is that once a superpower secure 51% of the computing power, they can actually censorship transaction. Not only the double spend. Double spend is not important. It just makes you lose money. But censorship is that we do not even allow you to spend the money. So proof of work coins technically cannot avoid censorship attack, where proof of transaction can actually avoid censorship attack from design.
Well, that's a very important aspect of this, I think.
Yeah.
Proof of transaction. I love that. Can we geek out a little bit? Can you tell us exactly how TauCoin works? Tell our audience. Let's get a little technical, just a bit.
Sure. So first of all, you use coins and use a wallet to pay people. Every time you pay people, you accumulate something called mining power. Then many users are aggregating their mining powers together, become mining clubs. Then we're expecting there will be thousands of mining clubs on the world, basically to competing to generate next block. Not because of they have a higher computing power, but because of they're collecting more and more transactions. So the higher transaction, the higher probability to get next block, and the higher fee you'll be able to receive.
I like that. Can you tell us a little bit more about specifically your tokens, your economy?
So the token, we issue about 10 billion tokens, and we reserved 18% for the foundation to incentivating the founders and initial development team. And 82% will be used for faucet, bounty, and something like airdrop. So we already finished the airdrop. And there's about 75,000 users have received the coins. The current circulation is 300 million, which is 3% out there circulating. So basically, my idea is like every day we're going to issue about 5 million coins to ensure commoners on this world be able to have easy access to the coin. So I expect that to lasting for 4 years to consume all the coins.
I see.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
Can you tell us about how are you separating yourselves from some of your competitors? What is very special about TauCoin that you can share with us?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. There are several items we ourselves feel very excited. We articulate that in the white paper in very detail. So the first one is of course the proof of transaction, where it's the first kind implementation of a proof of transaction. Nobody did that before.
Yeah.
So previously it's on POW and POS. I can go very long to discuss our advantage over POS and over POW, but that will take another video. The second one is mobile mining network. Our design is put on the entire network on the mobile mine. There wouldn't be any physical full nodes out there, so everything will be run on the mobile. So you're gonna download the mobile mining app, and the whole world rely on that, because I think decentralization is not only by software, but also by infrastructure has to be truly decentralized. So if you put everything in Amazon cloud, it's not really truly decentralized. So
That's right.
The third one is what we call censorship resistance. In many parts of this world, there's still many countries that are actually prohibiting attend currency that are non-inflation. So people are guaranteed to be ripping up every like 10 years. We saw that happen in many developing countries.
Yeah.
So the censorship attack is a major attack for cryptocurrency when that cryptocurrency become really, really big. For example, if Bitcoin hitting the $1 trillion value, and many people with many superpower will not feel it's convenient, so they can organize them. So the third innovation for us is the censorship resistance. So the fourth strip is the last features we have is called the club mining. So basically, we allow you to do the on-chain club rather than the currently, which all the club is off-chain. So on-chain club is more fair and secure. Yeah, there are a lot of technical items. We have very deep technical stacks in the proof of transaction consensus.
It sounds like it. Now, you mentioned earlier that TauCoin is only 2 months in.
Yeah, our test is starting August 1st, and Genesis block built on August 1st. Basically, it's 2 months, almost 3 months, 2.5 months from now. Our web page daily active users hitting 12,000. Our page view hitting 100,000. And our wallet opening is 75,000 users, and we didn't spend a promotion fee for doing that. It's really the community pushing forward. About the 10 nationwide Telegram group has been established for us, and actually very lucky today our exchange is going online. We call it TauX. So we have our own exchange, which is a swap program, swapping between BTC to Tau every 6 hours. So, and Foundation will not sell any tokens. We never did an ICO. We never did a sale, and we basically create token. We allow the community to exchange to each other, and we promise we don't put any tokens from Foundation into the swap program. So today is actually a big day.
That is a big day. Well, I'm very fortunate to, coincidentally have you on our show on that day. So that's
I'm very lucky too.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Now, in 2 months, you already seem to be skyrocketing. What are some of your short, mid, long-term goals? Where do you see TauCoin in like 6 months from now, a year, 3 years?
Okay, so first of all, we're going to focus very much on this new consensus proof transaction. So the foundation effort will be focusing on technology development. We already see a lot of developers on community building wallets, app store. Even there's one community building this TauCoinTalk.org for us. It's already online and running. Get many countries and moderators on that. So for a community coin, I don't want to see the initial price to be very high. I want to see that it's a reasonable price. And most of ICO these days are causing early investors losing money. That's not our goal. We want to make sure it's a community decision on the pricing. And once the foundation is doing very well on the fundamental technology on the mainnet, and there's more community support to surrounding building blocks for that, I think that the value of the society will be increasing. So I think in 3 months we're probably hitting 200,000 users. In half a year, maybe 1 million. A year from now, I wish we can have 5 million users on the network, and our mainnet will be operating on the entire mobile network, mobile computing network. So that's my goal.
And you're already moving quickly. You must have a very good team behind you and around you. Can you tell us a little bit about your team?
Yeah, our team is really a composition of many different genes. We have fight and argument all the time, but we love each other. We have a mathematician who has a doctorate degree. We have a news reporter who is very good at the promotion and writing up amazing articles. We have a young guy who is very familiar with people born after 90s and 2000. Know their culture.
You call him young guy?
You look very young remotely.
Young guy, I got a question.
Yeah. And also, the most important, we have a lot of community supporters around the world, all carry different languages: Nigerians, Philippines, Indonesians, Italy, Russian, everywhere. So I think right now our team expansion is very quick, not only in the foundation, but also in the community. I'm very lucky to have multiple genes integrated together on the top planet.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing you keep going back to is community. Your community seems to be very strong, and I think this is one of the reasons why you're taking off so quickly. And I think you're very in a good position and very fortunate.
I'm very fortunate.
Can you tell us? Can you tell our audience a little bit about your background and maybe what personally motivates you to be in this industry and trying to make changes and, change the world in a way?
Myself, I have a bachelor's degrees in electronics engineering, so I'm an engineer by myself, and I have a financial engineering degree in Columbia University in New York City. So I'm combining some technology and with finance. And after that, I came back to China to start a few of my business as an entrepreneur. So I have one of my company listed on New York Stock Exchange called JT, which is a financial search engine for China region. So it's one of the largest search engine in China. So the reason that I started this business is that actually when I observe many developing countries like Southeast Asia, Africa, and the Middle East, I found their currencies it's not stable. And sometimes, like 3 months ago, what happened to one particular country, their currency dropped 40%, which means like entire wealth of the nation is dropping by 40%. So this is a disaster for common people. So this is why I started a currency that is non-inflation, that is be able to protecting everyone's wealth. I think ultimately the wealth is basically your accumulated hour of your labor. So when that thing is being fixed into currency, it cannot be inflated. So that's really drive my emotion, drive my passion to build this currency.
And when we talk about a non-inflation currency and how it can be beneficial for some of these smaller countries, how is it beneficial for the whole world to move to a non-inflated currency?
Yeah, I think the reason we might have non-inflated currency because these days we're living under digital abundance. 50 years ago we do not have digital abundance. We may have energy abundance. We may have communication abundance. So the digital abundance society is actually pointing to a new generation is entirely building their effort and the recognition of the work on the digital world online. So this actually is inevitable that the authority-based fiat currency will be going away in, say, next 20, 30 years. So it's not a problem of whether we're going to use digital currency. It boils down to what technology we want to use. So that's why I want to call all the cryptocurrency right now is in experimental stage. So we call us at a experimental proof of work cryptocurrency. So the most important thing to experiment is actually the non-inflation. So when there's no inflation for this currency, basically you're just holding on this currency and your wealth getting accumulated when the network effect checks in. So the more people use it, the more value, and just hold on it and there'll be more value in it. So this actually is very confrontational to the entire financial industry. For example, life insurance company, basically they promise you an annuity that will be able to protect you from inflation. What about currency have no inflation? You don't need a life insurance company.
Right.
The life insurance is a foundation of a huge financial sector. If you don't have that foundation, then private equity funds, venture funds, mutual funds, and all those funds suddenly losing the possibility or the logical reason to exist. So the currency itself is be able to provide the necessary protection on the preservation of the value. So this is going to change the world entirely, and I think that's more fair. So in order to achieve fair currency, you need to be fast and secure. That's why our mission is fast, fair, and secure.
Yes, and I think it would even disrupt the stock market because a lot of people invest in the stock market as an alternative to what they see is a falling dollar value or whatever,
Yeah, I think that the tokenization of the world is inevitable. So everything's going to move in the token world. It's so convenient. And the swap between token to token, swap between token to coin are so efficient. So when something is efficient, the more and more people like it, we will see more users use it, and there will be network effect. So I want to call this cryptocurrency. It's not even network effect. It's called like a cryptocurrency effect. So efficient and tokenize the entire world. So in the future, everything is tokenized, and cryptocurrency serve as a basis for all the tokens.
Exactly. And TauCoin, I have a feeling, is going to be a player in this space. You're taking off rather quickly, and I wish you the best of luck. Can you tell our audience? Can you tell our audience how they can get more familiar, get more information, or even become involved in TauCoin? Where can they buy a token? Tell us a website, anything you want to share.
Yeah, thank you. So I So the best place to visit Tau is at TauCoin.io. The best place to talk about Tau is at TauCoinTalk.org, which is built by our community. And there are many telegrams out there. So today our exchange is online, so welcome to participate. And also you can get free coins by using your Facebook and Google account to log on. And this log on free token offering is going to last for next at least 3 years. So you can always get some basic coins to start with without paying.
Without paying.
Thank you very much.
I love that. I love free things. Thank you, David, for joining us. And for our audience, if you want to see more videos like this one with David and TauCoin, check out Meet the Makers web series on our website, block.news. Thanks again, David. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me. Thanks.